There was a really great document that came out in January of 2020 titled Choosing Care, the Difficulties in Navigating the Home Care Package Market. There's one key finding that I want to highlight in today's video, and that is home care package recipients have difficulty understanding and accessing key information about both providers and their home care package itself. In this video, I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to do a deep dive into that, and it's going to help people better utilize the services that they're currently receiving, but also know the questions to ask any service provider in order for you to maximize the value you're going to be receiving. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Jim here from Village Local, your go-to resource for navigating the complex aged care system we have in this country. Our number one goal at Village Local is to help older Australians and their family caregivers access the support that they need to stay independent, safe, and well in their homes and communities that they've come to know and love and trust. So if you're looking for ways to maintain your independence and live the life you want to live, then subscribe to our newsletter. Make sure you hit the like button if you're watching this on YouTube or any other social media so that you can see the weekly updates that we regularly put out, producing content just like this to keep you and your loved ones safe and well. Stay tuned. Okay. So I want you to imagine something. Imagine you had a car and you were taking your car in for a service because you needed your car repaired. The left blinker wasn't working. Okay, that was the problem with your car. So you took it to your local mechanic who you've been going to regularly, maybe for a number of years, and you drop your car off and you tell the mechanic on the time you drop the car off that the left blinker isn't working, right? And the mechanic says, yes, no worries. We'll put a plan in place. We're going to get our mechanics to go through your car, have a look at all the wiring, check all these certain things, and we will give you your car back and your blinker will be working again. And it will take 24 hours to do this. You can come at the same time tomorrow, and by tomorrow, your blinker will be working. So you drop the car off, you come back the next day, the mechanic greets you and says, oh, fantastic, here are your keys. Let's go and check the blinker and I'll show you how it's working. You validate, yes, blinker's now turning on and off, and then you drive off. You've paid your money, and you take your car away. Now, in that simple example, you went to your mechanic to deliver a service. You had a problem, you knew the problem, you talked to your service provider, they discussed the problem, they discussed the action plan, and they discussed what the expectation is once they deliver the work. Then, at the completion of that plan, you checked that the work got done to your satisfaction. And it's that point you paid the money and you took your product away. That is the simple example of a service delivery model. You pay for a service and you get the result. And if the blinker wasn't working when you picked your car up, well then the mechanic knows that there's a problem and you know that there's a problem and further work can get done. And then you pay once they've delivered the value, okay? Now let's take it back to the aged care system. The aged care system in this country, we have consumers and we have providers. And the consumers with the money go to the providers, they pay a service, or they pay for a service for the providers to deliver. Now, in that scenario, the government is the one that has given money to the consumer, and the government has told the consumer, use this money to pay for things to keep you safe, to keep you independent, and to keep you well in the home. And whatever organization, whatever provider you choose to do this service for you, to help you stay independent, to stay safe, to stay well, to live the life that you want to live, make sure you have a plan in place with that provider that clearly articulates the challenges that you're having and the goals that you're after, so that when that service is delivered, you can have a look at the plan to see how well those services were delivered and how well those goals were achieved. And if they weren't achieved, well then you can work with that provider to amend the plan of attack to help you achieve those goals. Okay? And those goals can be anything. It can be maintaining a good social life. It can be keeping the house clean and tidy. It can be maintaining the safety of the environment. It can be making sure you get to doctor's appointments on time. But there's a plan in place, okay? And there are goals that are measurable that you can assess how well you're achieving those goals. So why am I taking you through this? Well, going back to some really, really interesting research that was done by the Consumer Policy Research Center. This fantastic report came out in January of 2020. The article is titled, the research paper is titled, Choosing Care. I'm going to put the link to this article. There we go. I'm going to put the link to this article on this page here. I encourage everybody who is seeking out home care services or already receiving home care services, get your hands on this report, okay? It's an 80-page document. It's a big document, but there is a key summary section, right? So you can have a look at the key summary section as well as the key research findings. There's 6 total key research findings. And today, I'm going to be talking about just one of them. And the one that I'm going to be talking about is home care package recipients have difficulty understanding and accessing key information about both providers and their home care package. And I gave that service provider example because this is what it's about. What this particular finding says is that about 1/3 of home care package recipients reported that they received a home care package but could not identify what level of package funding they were receiving, first of all. And it goes on to saying that 39% of home care package recipients were not provided with a care plan that they can clearly articulate what their goals and desires are. Now, that's over 1/3 of people are getting services from their home care provider and they are not aware of what the action plan is. So that's akin to saying, I'm going to drop my car off. I don't know why I'm dropping my car off at the mechanic. I'm going to pay the mechanic money. The next day, the mechanic's going to give me my car back, and I'm not going to know what they did with it or why I dropped it off because there's no plan. I'm not aware of the plan. It's the same thing. So what I'm saying is this. If you are working with a home care provider or you're needing home care support services, make sure when you start services, this is if you're new to the home care system, when you start services with a provider, sit down with them and clearly write down with them what the action plan is. And I suggest you do it this way. You, first of all, before you speak to a provider, you get out a piece of paper and you divide your paper into 3 columns, okay? Column number 1, and you might even want to pause this video and get a piece of paper out now and write these headings out, okay? So get an A4 piece of paper, blank piece of paper, okay? Column number 1, I want you to title it Health Care Challenges, okay? Health Care Challenges. And in that column, list out, it's stated, any healthcare challenges you have. So you might write down arthritis, you might write down diabetes, you might write down COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. You might write down any healthcare challenge that you have, high blood pressure, whatever it is. If you can't think of any healthcare challenges, have a think about what medications you might be taking and write down the medications and then think about, well, why am I taking that particular tablet? Oh, that helps with my blood pressure. Why am I taking that tablet? Oh, that helps with X, Y, and Z, okay? So column 1, healthcare challenges, right? Column number 2, so in the middle, right? Column number 2, I want you to write down things that are difficult, okay? Things that are difficult. And what I'm talking about there is any daily activity, something that you've got to do in the day on a day-to-day basis every so often that aren't as easy for you to do as they used to be. You may still do them, okay? You may power through, put on a brave face, because you're stoic and you want to maintain your independence, and you may still do them, right? But they aren't as easy as they used to be. So things I'm talking about like, vacuuming the floors, putting the washing on the line, getting to a doctor's appointment, going shopping, loading up the groceries when you get home. Shopping might be easy to do, but getting the groceries up the stairs and then into the cupboards might be difficult. As I mentioned, you may still be doing these things, but they are now difficult for you to do. Or you may be relying on somebody else to do them for you. You may have an adult child that it comes over every so often to do these things for you. You may have a daughter-in-law, a neighbor, a son-in-law that comes over to vacuum, to mow your grass for you, okay? Things that aren't as easy as they used to be, or you don't do, or you rely on somebody else to do, right? That's your middle column. And then in your last column of your paper, I want you to write down desires, right? And under that, for each of those challenges that you wrote, I want you to think about what would make life easier. So I'll give you an example. If you are struggling to clean the bathroom, okay? Struggling to clean the bathroom. Bathrooms are tricky because they're tighter spaces. It requires bending over, cleaning the shower as a prime example. Those who've got arthritic mobility challenges, this can be a real challenge for people like yourself or people like that you might know. A desire, a better way to do that, you might be thinking is, oh, gee, it would be nice if I had somebody to come in once a fortnight or once a week that could give the bathroom a once-over for an hour or so, or half an hour or so, okay? That might be your desire. Get some help once a week to clean the bathroom. Say it's shopping, loading up the groceries when you get home is your challenge. Well, your desire would be, gee, it'd be nice to have somebody drop me off at the shops so I could whip around, do my shopping, and then be there to drive me home. And then when we get home, they can be the ones that take all the groceries out of the car and load them up for me. That'd be nice, okay? Have a think about when it comes to you and maintaining your independence and maintaining and living the life you want to live, what would make things easier, okay? Once you've done that, once you've got that piece of paper, if you're somebody that hasn't started getting access to any support services, that piece of paper that you have created now is a wonderful resource to start a conversation with My Aged Care. That is the government department that helps seniors across Australia access home care support services or any resources to help them stay independent, safe and well. Okay, so that's a great resource if you're starting the home care journey. For those that are already receiving home care services from their existing provider, that document you've created is a wonderful resource to reach out to your home care provider and say, hey, I'm not sure what the care plan is. I'd like to speak to a case manager or my dedicated case manager to catch up either in my home for a cup of tea to go through my current situation and my future desires to make sure that the government funding I'm receiving to keep me safe and independent and well is actually aligned and help me achieve what my number one priorities are on this page. Can we organize a time for that? Your provider may be willing to come to your home to sit down with you and to go through that. They should be actually very appreciative that you've taken the time to do this because it makes their life a lot easier, okay? They may come to your home to do this, or they may do it over the phone. Over the phone can be just as effective, okay? But have a plan in place. And in that way, you're going to get the most wonderful experience from your home care services. If you've got any challenges getting through that really, really important task and moving the needle on this horrible statistic of 40% not knowing what support or that they've got available or whether they can access the level of support that they need, any challenges with achieving this, then give us a call. We will help you put this together so that you can live the life that you want to live. Our number, 1300 87 43 42. We'll put the details on this page, but our email address as well will also be listed. Feel free to drop us a line if you need any help. I'm Jim. Nice to meet you. Speak to you soon. Bye.